Welcome to your Joyful Riches podcast, where you gain precious tips for easily ignite your full spectrum wealthy life. Join us every Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific with your friends and families because we all want and deserve to be healthy, happy, and wealthy. This podcast is done with the G100 Global Networking Old Ladies Leagues and powered by Anchor FM by Spotify. Anchor FM is this super awesome free podcast made easy platform. And for this week, we are so honored and thrilled to welcome Julie to our platform. Julie, would you care to share with our audience what is it that you do?
Thank you, Brigitte. I am so thrilled and grateful to be here on your Joyful Riches podcast. What I do is I am a licensed psychotherapist and multiplicity expert, and I work with people who have the mental health diagnosis, DID, which is dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, wow. That is something that there are a lot of different diagnoses, but I don't think there are a lot of people. There are few and far in between, from my understandings, who are multiplicity or DID expert. So that is very interesting. So what brings you to do what you do? Did you like kind of like wake up when you were a kid and said, you know what, I'm gonna be this multiplicity expert kind of thingy? Or is it actually something that takes you, like for some of us, like myself, through a journey to reach where you are?
Yes, well, I didn't even know what multiplicity was. I just thought perhaps I was crazy, but I have the diagnosis myself, and that's how I came upon becoming an expert. I diagnosed myself by learning about it, and then, of course, I got a professional diagnosis, and then I developed a three-step method to help people get well by helping myself. And then I actually wrote a book. But I want to say, although I have the diagnosis does not have me.
Wow, that is so inspiring. So first of all, it sounds like no, you have to diagnose yourself. So people weren't even able to help you that way. And not only that, you were able to create a system that you've been through, and now you are thriving. So we know that the system works, and then you create and you've written a book for that. That is, I mean, that is just the best things. We know that, that my dentist used to say this, like, if you go to a dentist, make sure that he has bad teeth too, because a dentist who has perfect teeth doesn't know what the patient's going through. And my dentist has really bad teeth, according to him. And so you've been through it yourself, and you're a proven living person that yes, you can have this diagnosis, this multiplicity, and at the same times you can thrive. So for people, there are some people in the audience might not really know what the heck is, so you're talking about DID or multiplicity. What is that? Is it kind of like multiple personality, what it is?
Yes, it used to be called multiple personality disorder. And what the actual diagnosis is in simple terms, it's having two or more distinct personalities or identities and having abrupt changes in mood and memory gaps that are not explained by normal or average forgetfulness.
Oh, wow. That is quite powerful. I mean, that I can only imagine how scary that must be to kind of like the memory gaps, like, did I get lost? Did I passed out or something like that? I can only imagine how scary that could be if somebody are going through that, and how, from what you told me just now, how it could be misunderstood. I mean, people could be to be honest, when you say that just now, the word that comes to my mind was what's it, that character, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yes.
And I can only imagine how people can misunderstood somebody like that. Oh, you just you just, not a nice person, or you just emotional or something, while it's actually an actual conditions that can be addressed, and you can kind of like triumph over that. That is a very interesting thing.
Yes,
So
at times I couldn't explain my behavior. So I would make up stories about why I did something but I didn't know why I did it.
and that is, I can only imagine how heartbreaking it could be when you were going through that, when someone were going through that. So that's so beautiful that you are able to create sounds like a simple system, because it's only 3 steps. Well, go ahead.
Yes, it's only 3 steps because in an emergency, I needed a quick way to speak to the other parts of myself so that I could function as an adult woman.
That's beautiful. So it's not some things that's like so complicated, because you mentioned this is like a shift, like you one way here and then you shift, and you want to be able to kind of stay on track, so to say, this from my understanding, to stay on track being an adult woman instead of, say, a 7-year-old boy or a 15-year-old girl. Is that how it sounds? And this thing, something that you say, just like 1, 2, 3, you can keep staying on track. That
Yes.
is so
Yes.
beautiful. I think that is something that is so to a degree, I think it's something all of us can benefit from, because there are times, I mean, at least with me, and maybe none of the audience, but there are times with me, I'm just like dealing with something, I'm just like, I just wish I can smack you. Okay, Bridget, behave. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's good to keep us in track. Or there are times that I just like, I know I'm supposed to do something, and I'm like almost like the little kid in me saying, no, I'm not gonna do it. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not okay. Yeah, now you're like 15 hours late or something like that. So that is so awesome that you create something that, well, useful for this, but I imagine it's useful for most people. If you
Yes.
have it's kind of like the devil and the sane concept, right? And it's like the devil saying, you're like, and this is will allow you to help to stay on track and do what you need to do, and not listen to the devil in your ear. So that is so great.
Yes, and I would like to quote you when in your book on page 50 in the book Seeking Peace.
Oh,
And I'm going to tell you why this book and many books are so important to me later. But you say, let's listen with compassion and without judgment when we notice we are speaking harshly to ourselves. And so that actually is part of what I do inside, is to identify which part of myself needs something, or is talking, or is getting in trouble, or appears to be doing something bad, and instead of saying, shut up, go away, I hate you, is to listen deeply with compassion to that part.
yeah.
And so, and your book and many books, and the fact that I wrote a book is so poignant and important, because part of me couldn't read. And so on the surface, we could give me the diagnosis of a reading disability, but there was a reason why this part couldn't read, because there was a traumatic memory about books that happened when I was a little girl, and I was afraid of books. And now I have books, as you can see, everywhere in my house. And the story was, books are dusty and dirty, and I can't read, and so I'm not going to try. And that was not acceptable if I wanted to be a therapist and go to graduate school.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And in my book later on, I mentions that we all want to be heard, HEARD. And so is the different part, that's the different parts. I mean, even the devil and the saint, we all want to be heard. And so when we're able to stay there with compassion, which sounds like one of your approach, then you're not creating a war within yourself. You just embracing everybody, including yourself, which we all deserve to be embraced. And and acknowledge. And so what is, you mentioned you write a book. What's your book called?
My book is called Just Say Hi to Amazing Parts of Yourself.
Just say hi to an amazing part of yourself. That is so,
Yes, to amazing parts of yourself.
oh, that is so awesome. And where can we find, and it's not a very thick book either, am I correct?
No, it's less than 100 pages, but because I wanted it to be simple and easy to read and to do.
So it's easy to read and it's practical. That is always awesome because we want to be able to do that. And in our busy life, we want to be able to thrive without spending hours and hours studying a book that's that thick, like this medical skill book. But
Yes, and it looks friendly.
right.
It's not a textbook, because if it was a textbook, some people might not want to pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't never pick up a textbook anymore after all the training I have done in life. So where can people find your book?
It's on Amazon.com, and it's called Just Say Hi to Amazing Parts of Yourself. And it's under Julie Lyons. So it'll come right up.
Super, that is awesome. Just say hi. I mean, even in real life, if we just truly say hi to people when we see people, when we are living here, at least in Los Angeles, and it's kind of like people nowadays look at you funny if you say hi to them, which is kind of really sad. Well, I know in some community, people still say hi, and it's like, wow, what a great difference that is. It just kind of even make us feel better. So that is so awesome that that your book is in there. So from your experience overcoming such challenge, I can only imagine from your experience overcoming such not just overcoming, really being able to use it, what you went through, and create something good, not only for you, in addition for you, for other people too. Now, do you have one or two tips on creating a joyful life, a full spectrum rich life?
Yes, I would love to tell you about that. Oh, let's see. Pardon me. One of my parts must have lost my notes.
Hey, that's okay. We embrace it, right?
But there's another part that knows where they are. And so I will just be able to ask that part.
There you go. Just say hi to both of them.
That's right. So I would like to leave you with a couple of things to ponder, actually.
Oh,
Is ask yourself, am I willing to look inside myself if it will help me live a thriving life? Number two, what's one thing I might be afraid to know about myself or that I might be ignoring? And number three, would I love to get past the thing that has kept me stuck and find my brilliance? And you can find out more about how to do that in my book.
that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And that just, that is such a simple question, but also very deep. So it's such a simple question. Is there a part of you that keeping you stuck, and would you actually want to be able to move forward from that, move through that? And your book will have the answers. That is awesome. I love that very much. And so what if people want to work with you besides just your book? How do people connect with you? If some of the audience know somebody who experienced what you've been through and want to work with you, is there a way for people to connect with you?
Sure. You can go on Psychology Today and under Julie Lyons, and you can reach me through there, or you can type in JustSayHiJulie at gmail.com. I mean, that's my email address. You can email me directly. And so instead of just say hi to amazing parts of yourself, it's just say hi, Julie at gmail.com. And then I will email you back and I will give a free consultation.
Oh, well, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much. That is
Yes.
so very kind. So you can go to Julie is in, Julie is a licensed therapist. She's in psychology.com, Psychology Today,
Yes.
psychologytoday.com, and you can find her there. And you can also email her directly. We'll put Julie's email in our the explanation part of this podcast. And then you can also check out her book. So do you have any, as we wrap this conversation here, do you have any message to our audience, for people in general and people who are going through challenges?
Yes, we all have parts of ourselves that we tend to ignore or discount or wish they would go away. And we have tried everything. We have tried diets and self-help books, but sometimes it's just as simple as embracing the devil side or the dark side or whatever the thing is that you really don't like, embracing it and saying, hi, and see what happens. And then just listen, be curious. What else can I know about this part of myself that might have the answer?
I love that. So kind of like just, say, be curious, like you said, because what lesson, almost kind of like what lesson can you learn from the part of you that up until now you'd rather not be there, and that is so beautiful, because we know that everything in our life has the opportunity to be our teacher. So, well, that is so beautiful. Thank you so much, Julie. So listen to your heart. If there is a part of you that's up until now you're fighting with it and you say hi and say, what message do you have for me, so we can all be thriving and get along. Thank you so much, Julie. I so much appreciate you joining us today. Thank you for sharing your tips and your brilliance. And for you, my friends who are listening to this, please share 1 or 2 gold nuggets in the comment so we can continue learning from each other. And thank you for joining. Please share this podcast with your friends and families so they too can triumph. And this is Dr. Burjit Tan, your grief transformation specialist for individuals and businesses, founder of the International Childhood Cancer Charity and United States country chair for G100 Global Networking All Ladies League. And you make it a thriving day, my friend, and I look forward to see you again next week, same time, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, same place.